So why are we talking about Yu-Gi-Oh series today, Ian?
Because it's the next thing on the list of tier lists that I made.
Okay, well that's good enough reason for me. Do we want to go in chronological order, or do we want to go in the order that we have set up here on the screen right now?
We should probably go in chronological order. I think that just makes more sense. And I'll have more to say about the stuff we start with.
Okay, then I suppose that means we have to start with
S. S, 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 S.
Okay, is it S though? Is it S?
It is. It is. It's perfect. It's perfect. It's peak. It's peak. It's peak. Sorry,
okay,
everyone.
I think we need more than you proclaiming that it's peak. What makes this stand above the rest?
So unlike the rest of Yu-Gi-Oh, instead of being a shonen manga about a bunch of people playing one card game, it's a shonen manga about a bunch of people playing all sorts of different games. There's a different game every episode. Although I've read the manga. The manga is better than the show. But the show's good too. It's an incredible look into what could have been for Yu-Gi-Oh if the card game hadn't grabbed a hold of everyone's mindscape. It's just peak. It's just peak. The incredible storylines, incredible characters, lovely interactions between them, cool stakes. The stakes are so much higher in some ways and then lower in some ways because they're not like the world's going to end if we lose, but like I'm going to kill you if you lose.
yeah, a lot of very personal stakes, but also the manga would end if we lost.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's also weird to say, considering that the body horror imagery of Yu-Gi-Oh! Never really went away during the DM period, but it does feel like once we enter Duel Monsters as a franchise, things started getting a lot more sanitized when it came to, like, subject matter.
And especially when you come to the anime. Because some of the imagery is still not sanitized in the manga when we get to the Duelist Kingdom and such, but once you hit the anime adaptation of the manga, it's extremely sanitized, and especially once you get the 4 kids doing their sick shit with it.
Absolutely. Hey, whoa! Invisible Guns is a technological marvel that should be celebrated. Why are we making fun of this?
Let me just point at you real quick.
Yeah, I also. I said this a couple of days ago offhandly to someone, and I think this holds true for Season 0 or like before Duel Monster stuff. Any game like Falsebound Kingdom or Duels of the Roses is more Yu-Gi-Oh than any Duel Monsters related project could ever be. It's more Yu-Gi-Oh than Master Duel is. It's more Yu-Gi-Oh than Duel Links is, because it gets to this spirit of like not being obsessed with a singular game, but the concept of gaming itself, what you can do with it, the different forms it takes, the bonds that you form with it are of course a staple throughout all of them. But in modern days, these are the bonds that you can form by playing Yu-Gi-Oh, the trading card game. Whereas beforehand, it felt a bit more authentic, if that makes sense.
If you want more of that kind of style of stuff, though, definitely check out the manga that Kazuki Takahashi did with Marvel, where Iron Man and Spider-Man fight a villain that Kazuki Takahashi made from his own brain. It's incredible.
I gotta read that. That sounds so funny.
It's so good. It came out a couple of years ago, like basically right before Kazuki Takahashi unfortunately passed away. And it's a really good book.
Oh yeah, what's it called?
I don't remember. That's the problem.
I'm sure you can look up,
I'm looking it up.
Kazuki Takahashi Iron Man, and you should be able to find it pretty easily.
Literally, if you look up Kazuki Takahashi Marvel, you should get it.
Yeah, that's even better.
Marvel's Secret Reverse. There we go. Secret Reverse.
Oh, that's such a good name for it. It's got the secret in there. If it's a Marvel property, it's got to have the secret. And then you have the reverse, which is such clearly a Yu-Gi-Oh word.
Yeah.
I don't care what its actual etymology is. Reverse is a Yu-Gi-Oh word.
Yep. It's close to Turnabout, too, which is also fun for me as an Ace Attorney fan.
Rotating appears to be a common theme going on here.
Why are the Japanese obsessed with rotation?
Well, Beyblade! Oh,
wait, rotation coming to Yu-Gi-Oh! Confirmed?
Oh, actually, that's a way better joke. We'll go with that one. Editor Nova, don't touch this. You need to make me look like a fucking idiot. Okay.
Another thing about that makes Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 0 peak is Megumi Ogata as Yugi incredible voice acting. She's just peak. She's just so fucking good.
I'll take your word for it. I was never able to discern the quality of Japanese voice acting, but I'm not like immersed in it either, so I couldn't have a stance on it.
Just a woman voice actor trying to do like a deeper masculine voice is just perfect to me. I don't know. That's just heaven.
Excellent. Also, when are we getting the adaptation of that tabletop game that Bakura made them all play? When are we going to be able to play that?
Please.
That still sticks in my brain since then. There's a splinter in my amygdala where I used to be normal, and then I saw them roll the 2d10s to figure stuff out, and they rolled the double zeros, and like, I can't go back anymore.
It's a 2d10 system. It's so perfect.
We have Dungeons and Dragons. No, Beelzebub. No, it's not the same. Gary Gygax, bless his soul, he is not the be-all and end-all. We have to do more stuff. We have to evolve beyond Wizards of the Coast.
Mr. Gygax, tear down this wall.
Well, if you have adamantine, it'll be easier to get past the object's damage resistance. Do you have that? Okay. Nope. Okay, well then, you know what? I don't even want to continue riffing on it, because this joke is actually bad, so I want to save all of us. It's done. It's done. We're going to move on to...
It's time!
A lot to like, for sure. A lot to love? I don't know.
See, I can't... See, there's so much, like, interesting stuff in the manga that I'm sure will be less interesting once I read it. The whole idea of the dual professors is, like... It's a legend for now, because I don't know anything more about it than Wikipedia articles. But that whole arc not existing...
Yeah.
The fact that the Machinas originate from DM blows my mind. Because of that. Like... I mean, of course, it was Machina Force that came out in it, not anything actually good, but, you know, it's the thought that counts.
And additionally, the addition of... Here's my hot take. Waking the Dragons goddamn sucks. It's so bad. I hate Season 3 of Yu-Gi-Oh!
If that's a hot take, where are you living in the freezer?
People keep coming up to me and saying it's good. I hate it.
Who?
Who was it, actually? I'm trying to remember now.
There is no one that actually likes the Waking
I will
the
post
Dragon
on Twitter
arc,
now, and I'll find them. I'm doing it right now.
Do it, right?
Go to my Twitter, and you'll see it. Who out here actually likes the Waking the Dragons arc?
I think Lil Karibo did a pretty good job with it, but that's it. Look, ranking the different eras of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged is a different tier list. We're not factoring in what LK did to save that source material.
You would not like my hot takes about Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. I don't think it's very good. I don't like it.
Okay, hey, you know what? I'll rake you over the coals some other time for that. Let's not get too sidetracked right now. All I know is that the only thing that people like out of Waking the Dragons is cloth armor. It's the only thing of value that came out of it, and then they stopped doing cloth armor. So it's like, whatever, man.
I literally can't think of a single saving grace of Waking the Dragons. I don't like any part of it.
I think the incredible thing is that they give Kaiba this arc throughout the entire series where they don't necessarily make him a good guy, but he becomes less, like, staunchly a dick about everything.
There it is, actually. There's the one redeeming part of Waking the Dragons. It's where Kaiba has to be like, all these things are here, but they're clearly fake. It's like, oh, look at all this magic around me. Anyway, it's fake.
Anyway, fake news, holograms. I make holograms. I know this is technology that exists. Yeah, but like, and then they do that thing where it's like, oh, well, I don't care about sacrificing all of these souls of these people. Fuck.
Oh yeah, that's good too. Yeah, actually, that was like, what do I care?
But that's not the direction they were trying to go with him, right? Am I out of the loop on this?
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of character assassination, but that entire season is character assassination.
Yeah.
For everyone.
No, yeah, so that's definitely just an example of why Waking the Dragon is just...
I'm a corporate businessman. I crush people's souls every day.
There we go. That's the line. There we go.
Yeah.
To be fair, though, they really did come through with the line work on there. Eric Stewart, once again, just delivering these lines that no one else could. Okay, now the real question is, the Big Five arc good? Because that I think that has a lot more. It's funny because in Waking the Dragon, they try to give all of the different characters like their own dedicated backstory to like build up sympathy and make all these duels mean something, and they suck.
I hate Raphael the most.
Raphael's so unnecessary.
He's so annoying.
But you make the Big Five, you just make them a bunch of assholes, and they're immediately more likable to have in games.
I hate that Kaiba destroyed my penguin world. Kaiba stopped letting me create weapons of mass destruction, and I have to kill him for that.
He stopped me from killing children. What the hell?
What the hell, man? That's fucked up.
And the fact that they had like the final duel, like all of them fighting over control of a single body, peak.
And they put Tristan inside Acrobat Monkey.
And he was inside he was Acrobat Monkey.
He was Acrobat Monkey. Oh yeah, and introducing Deckmasters, the most broken formats.
Folks, go watch my domain videos right now. They're cool. I promise you they're cool. So that's the filler arcs, though. We haven't really talked about like any of the main arcs.
The main
at all.
arc of Yu-Gi-Oh is like really nice. It's really good. I just think some of the stuff that's left out and some of the stuff that's added in kind of drag the series down a little bit.
Yeah, I think as far as the anime goes, that really hurt its. Hurt it, but it is still like it's still an A.
Yeah, I think A.
Like it's the progenitor of almost every card game anime trope that I can think of. The tournament structure was kind of unavoidable by that point anyway, because their Dragon Ball Z had already solidified that as part of shonen action writing anyway. But I don't think that they ever rested on their Kazuki Takahashi ever rested on his laurels when it came to scenario writing for those things. He was always upping the ante on stuff. And yeah, there was a lot of really good character writing and making sure that a lot of the duels tied into their actual arcs instead of feeling like, I don't know, filler.
And I think that's something that Yu-Gi-Oh, the non-anime original stuff, does really well, is treading the balance between introducing new cards and not pulling new cards out of your ass.
Yeah, they do get a lot of usage out of older cards fairly often to create the sense of continuity.
Yeah, exactly. And even some of the anime original stuff does too. In fact, like the final battle between Joey and Yugi is not in the manga. They just decide to not have it, and it's just split the cards. And they added it into the anime to spread it out a little bit more. And every card they use in that duel is something that had appeared earlier in the show.
Oh, sick.
It's actually really nice. Except for the exact end of the duel where Yugi pulls the Dark Master out of his ass.
Oh. Well.
Dark Sage, sorry.
You know. I mean, yeah, I guess there's an argument to be made that was fine. You know, there got to be some kind of new thing to print. You know.
It feels a little cheap, but you know.
Man, they need to retrain Dark Sage, actually. When are we getting that in the card pool?
Yeah, when are we getting the Dark Sage archetype?
Yeah, come on. We've done a million different Dark Magician retrains.
Where you give your opponent Time Wizard and make it successfully go off.
Yeah. We get our own in-archetype version of Light Barrier. We just decide how Time Wizard resolves. Easy stuff. Yeah, unless there's anything else that we're missing about when it comes to talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! But yeah, very solid. Incredible stuff. Laid the groundwork for everything that came afterwards.
Yeah.
Like Yu-Gi-Oh! GX! A retelling of Yu-Gi-Oh! DM.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, that I'm being a bit facetious there. It's not one-to-one, but there's a lot of borrowed elements, as spin-offs are wont to do.
So here's where I start getting a little controversial. I think Yu-Gi-Oh! GX has good ideas, but is poorly executed.
I don't think you're wrong about that, because what's the arc like? It's slice of life.
Mm-hmm. For the one season.
Thriller. Interdimensional drama about dealing with like the trauma of power,
mm-hmm.
and then What would you classify season 4? Like Thriller Part 2?
Season 4 is the good stuff, actually. Like, season 4 is the peak Yu-Gi-Oh! GX.
Which sucks because I've never actually had a chance to sit down and watch it. I've only ever been able to see the first 3 seasons.
Season 4 of GX is existential horror, I guess. Yeah, works, but it's a lot of dealing with trauma, which is like one of my favorite things in media is like characters dealing with their trauma. So it helps. But it's also shorter than their other seasons, and it's not dubbed, so you can't possibly watch the terrible dub.
Okay, I guess that's true. They try to get Jaden out of the bad situation in season 3, and then season 4 is like the fallout of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it sucks because every time I hear about it, it always feels like the least interesting of all of them, based on like the characters that are involved and the decks that they're forced to play. Like season 4 is when we see Thelonious Viper, right?
Thelonious Viper is in season 3. He arrives with Axel Brody and then has Axel Brody like mess with everyone for no reason. but he gathers all the pain energy so he could summon Yubel. Because Yubel promised to get his son back or something.
That sounds right.
The dub feels like an abridged series a lot. Yeah, it does. The dub of GX feels like an abridged series, and it's really bad.
That's unfortunate. Say what you want about a British series, whatever the quality of whatever you watch. It might be good to have a dub that is truer to the source material.
Yeah, I think honestly the voices are not my main issue though. The soundtrack, they absolutely just ripped out the original soundtrack of GX and replaced it with like 4 songs total.
Wow, that's terrible.
And so I have the stuck in my head forever now.
Just wedged in between the folds.
Because it's just that forever. Every time they duel, it's It's just like every single time they duel, and I'm like, fuck, dude, get out of here.
Learn a different chord progression, please.
And then you go back. If you watch like the dub episodes and then you watch season 4, it is like a breath of fresh air when you're suddenly free from that music.
Finally, a composer touched this score.
And there's like sound effects. There's like no sound effects in GX other than like comedy stingers. Like they have the wow wow wow, but they don't have like ocean sound effects when they're near an ocean. Like, they removed all the soundtrack, including, like, sound effects, Foley, everything. It's crazy.
Can we get a One Piece situation here, please? Can we get a redub?
Please?
Please? One of the most profitable, famous gaming franchises in the world. Can we get a dub that's worth a damn, please?
I mean, they're dubbing all the 7 stuff, at least. I was surprised when I learned that, because like, we didn't get any of the Rush Duel cards. I was like... So they're clearly not dubbing it, but it turns out they are. It's just all on Hulu. So maybe they could go back and do a GX now.
Disney, hey, Disney, come on, let's get on this. I don't ask you for much.
Thinking about how GX makes vampires canon to Yu-Gi-Oh and then makes them extinct. What do I say? Like, it's true. It's true.
But like, we already know that there's like mystical stuff going on. It's not weird that vampires exist.
But it is weird that they all are extinct now.
I mean, it's the 20-aughts, you know. We didn't like vampires back then. You saw how we all treated Twilight.
I think Yu-Gi-Oh! GX is vampire racist.
Can we add that as the tier? Vampire racism?
Vampire racist?
Talk about GX around Thempire, chat. Come on.
I kind of want to put Yu-Gi-Oh! GX in C tier. I could be argued higher, but I feel like C is where I want to put it.
I think we've talked about it a lot so far, but I don't know if I've crystallized my thoughts on it because of it.
Yeah, it was mostly me going, I hate this show, I hate this show, I hate this show. Except for season 4. Season 4's peak.
I feel like I'm taking this opinion from something else that I saw, but it feels like GX has an identity crisis. It never sits down and figures out what kind of story it actually wants to tell. Duel Monsters, I feel like, is very thematically consistent throughout the whole of it. They get to build on stuff over and over again. And while technically stuff gets built upon in GX, it's like lore and continuity. There's so much less like character. I don't know who anyone's character arc is in this show. The most prominent is like Chaz, and he goes from being a rich kid to a snobby poor person. largely.
Yeah, his character arc is like he's still an ass, a snobby asshole at the end.
Yeah, like let's be real here.
And
So
it took until season 4 for them to actually wrap up his character arc and make him like a real person. Again.
That's where all the character arcs are tied up in season 4. Yeah,
Every
but that's
single
part of
character
the
arc is tied up
problem,
in season
right?
4.
That's the problem. It shouldn't be season 1, season 2, season 3, season 4, now it's all resolved. We should be seeing some kind of change, escalation,
literally
de-escalation.
Season 4 has an episode for every single character worth giving a story wrap up to and having them wrap up their story. Like there's a Cyrus and Zane episode, there's a Chaz and Aster episode. I think there's an Alexis episode. There's definitely a Crowler episode.
We gotta redeem Crowler.
The Crowler episode's actually really sweet.
That's incredible. That's good. But yeah, like I just feel like, despite the fact that it is serialized, once we get like through a good chunk of season 1, it feels just like a bunch of excuses to get people to duel each other. And there are story beats, but none of them feel like they land enough to be as resonant as anything from original Duel Monsters. So I feel like it's not dog water. I wouldn't put it in D tier, but GX it's just not for me. It's fine.
Yeah, I think that's agreeable. Now, let's talk about something that's a little bit more consistent in tone. 5Ds.
Alright, so we're gonna put that in S tier because fuck the cops.
Hell yeah.
Okay,
I
but
haven't actually finished 5Ds, for just to be clear. But I like it. I think it's neat.
Yeah. No, yeah, 5Ds, I think its mythology gets a little muddled when they try to mix together the threats of ancient Aztec demons and future terrorists. But
yeah. I have seen this through the eyes of Duel Links, which is not a very clear picture what's going on, but it is a picture what's going on.
But yeah, like all the way through the original Dark Signers arc, of course it does lay the evils of capitalism at the hands of zombie evil people, which is of course better an analogy than an actual, praxis. But it does tell a pretty good story.
And it has a consistent theme of hope. Throughout the whole thing, hope being something that can overcome issues of class and future terrorists and ancient demons.
Yeah, like the bond between siblings. I know that Luna and Leo aren't exactly the strongest of characters, but they help get each other through some very difficult situations to fight these forces.
And they certainly are around while Yusei does everything else.
Yeah. No. Yusei is Goku, confirmed?
I do. So 5Ds is where I get kind of frustrated with. I guess I get frustrated with this in several different Yu-Gi-Oh arcs. I get frustrated with the writing of women characters in 5Ds in particular because Akiza is so fucking cool, and she's written like dog shit.
Yeah, no, she gets her one arc where she's a threat, and then I don't think she does anything relevant until the Friendship Cup at the end, where she has to take someone's place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck happened to her? She was the fucking Dark Witch, dog.
Yeah, what arguably one of the most powerful presences, not just in dueling, but in this metaphysical world that they've created, completely dropped. Luna, to this day, does not have an archetype, even though she's a designer.
Yeah.
She didn't get anything in the original show. We haven't tried to go back and recreate anything for her, even though we've had like 3 waves of Leo support.
Mm-hmm. They're gonna make Power Tool Brave S Dragon before they make anything.
Before they make any Sunlight Unicorn retrains ever. Carly is a fan favorite character, but I think that's just because people latch on to girl failures a lot. And then when she turns evil, she gets the evil hotness upgrade.
Yeah, it's true.
But there's not a lot to do there with her character. They don't do a lot with her character. So
no, they don't. Especially because of, just she gets fridged. She's literally fridged. Well, not literally. She didn't literally get shoved into a fridge, but the archetype of the fridging, she got that. She was killed to motivate Jack.
I hate this woman. I hope someone kills her so that I can feel empathy and spurn my character. What? That's not right. Who wrote this? Me? So not very good on that end. We are not passing the Bechdel test with 5Ds.
I do think though, Carly has one of my favorite conspiracy theories surrounding her.
Please go on.
The conspiracy theory about the fact that her voice actress was part of a cult, and so that's why she was written out of the show.
And that's been disproven, right? Like,
yeah, we basically know.
But it is funny.
It is extremely funny. That's the theory people have.
So good. Okay, so it's not perfect.
No,
it does have
certainly
strong.
not.
Its themes are strong.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Antimony duel will live on as one of the top 10 duels in all of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think that does a lot to, like you were talking about, like themes of hope, because Antimony does show up to keep an eye on everyone and just mess with them. But then through essentially the power of friendship, he learns that the future in the world is worth saving, and that's a very powerful moment the way it concludes. So it definitely has some highs that are worth remembering for. I would say at least B.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
There we go. There's an argument for A, but I don't know if I have those arguments on me right now. But yeah, just solid B. This is pretty good setting right there.
Hot take, don't like turbo duels. That's fair. I think that's fair. I think it's really stupid that they constantly have a field spell on field for the Earthbound Immortals to use.
Oh, sorry. Someone said they didn't like turbo duels and the Mountain Dew tried to kill me. Actually, turbo duels rock. That shit is so cool.
I do like them being fast though. The spells speed spells are stupid. I like dueling on motorcycles. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, and huge step forward for the animation of the series too. Like whether it was the 2D, them like making those turbo duels look really good, or the 3-dimensional monster models. Those things, I don't think they dropped a bad one out of all of those. With the maybe exception of some of the Earthbound Immortals, but I feel like the weirdness and plasticity of those ones added to the appeal.
The manga gives the turbo duels rules. Yeah.
That's not right. You can't give rules to that shit. The writer should be able to do whatever they want with those. It's turbo duels.
Speaking of doing whatever they want, Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal?
Oh shit. Okay, so this one, I have never seen a series be so hotly debated as Zexal. And Vrains exists, so you know that it's bad.
And I have never seen a Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal episode.
I've never seen one Zexal.
Never seen a singular Zexal.
Okay, well, we have already done something wrong because we are calling it Zexal. Noah Jenk busts my chops every fucking time this comes up.
That's so funny. That sounds like him.
Well, that's good because it is.
That's so him.
Yeah, so he really likes it. I've had some dalliances with it. Never... I don't know. I never really clicked for me. I do like Yuma.
Yuma is interesting because I think most of people's frustration with Yuma comes from his dub voice actor.
I 100%. Every argument that I have heard that Yuma's a bad protagonist is because he's a nasally little precocious kid. To which I would say, learn what a character arc is, asshole.
But like he's like one of the first protagonists that's allowed to lose, which is really cool.
Wild stuff. He starts out bad and then gets better. Are you kidding me? That's not how this is supposed to work. Because I think that is kind of a big character dynamic shift when it comes to the writing. Yugi is like a little guy who knows he's very knowledgeable about games, so he's already good about them, and he's just generally likable. But he has a bad boy side when he can get edgy. Jaden walks the line when it comes to being annoying, but in general, he's just high energy, likes being friends with people, loves to duel. And you say, once again, and I cannot stress this enough, punches cops. So, great character trait right here. Yuma's the first time where they have made a protagonist that has a lot of unlikable traits that get worked through as the series goes on.
Yeah, yeah, I do really appreciate that. Even though I would probably get annoyed myself a little bit, probably.
It's kind of it's a kind of a litmus test. I don't know what for, because I don't want to equate you didn't enjoy a character being bad at the beginning and getting good to any kind of like personality trait. But it certainly knows what other kinds of media you can share with someone, and they would be okay with it.
All right, so Zexal, from my perspective, which is mostly I experienced Zexal through Duel Links,
Mm-hmm.
and I like the characters. I think the characters are neat. I really like Quattro, the gimmick puppet man. He's such a funny little guy.
Yeah, Zexal does have like a series of interesting character dilemmas, right? The whole Arclight family is the result of like this horrible patriarch, and that manifests in different ways with all the different kids, and I like that. That's a kind of maybe nuanced is a bit too strong of a word for the series, but it acknowledges that can affect people differently and how they handle it. And I think that's pretty cool.
But yeah, I like the characters. I like the Chronomaly kid, whatever his name is. I'm forgetting.
They're all numbers.
They're all numbers. Yeah, Chronomaly kid is fun. I like the Chronomalies as a concept, just taking all the stupid conspiracy ancient alien shit and making it into an archetype. That's fun. Trey. That's right, Trey.
Was the Machu Mech FTK placed here by ancient aliens? Solve the riddle.
And I like Shark and his sister. They have a fun dynamic together.
Yeah, I think it's a bit heavy-handed when it happens, but Shark ending up being the emperor of a interdimensional conquering empire, but like framed as he has to figure out how to reconstruct or save his civilization after it was completely blasted by the Astrals. I don't know. There's something there. I don't know if it's executed particularly well, but I like the idea.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the Astral Race just also being, like, even more of an asshole than the Baryons is just so funny. It's so happy that they did that.
So where do you want to put this?
Okay, so not A.
Yeah.
I don't think it's A status.
Sure.
So I'm torn between B and C.
Mm-hmm. I could see either one. I
think when it does, like, good stuff, it does better than GX does. I feel like the story is more cohesive. I just don't know if I rank it higher than 5Ds. So I think it has to go there.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Cool. All right. Are you ready for the series that ruined Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah, I'm ready. I was trying to think of a thing I could pivot to, as a joke, Digimon Tamers ruined Yu-Gi-Oh.
It's less of a pivot and more of a pendulum.
Arc
V, folks.
Arc V.
Boy howdy.
Again, I've not seen it. I've been trying to go chronologically through Yu-Gi-Oh, and I'm stuck in 5D's land.
Which is weird, because the whole idea is to go as fast as possible. I don't know what's stopping you up.
I don't know. It's probably just that I don't watch a lot of TV.
Okay, so Arc V is the story about how theater kids were the true evil the entire time, and the only thing that will save us is, in fact, more theater.
Oh, S tier.
Absolutely. However, we do need to fill out some time, so we will have to ramble on why that is the case for about at least 10 more minutes. So Arc V
is a show.
That
exists.
I watched through part of season 1. I got partway through the Xyz Dimension ones, so I never got to see a lot of the absolutely baffling decision to cameo a bunch of older series characters. Not baffling insofar as why they did it, more like how they did it. I saw, once again, name-dropping Noah Jenk here, his What's in a Duel video about the Sora versus Shun fight. Fantastic watching material. Very sad that NAS absolutely blasted that.
Yeah.
Fantastic choreography on that duel. For every reason why I love Turbo Duel, Arc V cranks that up to 11.
With the action duels.
The action duels are so slick. I think my hot take here is that speed cards and action cards are so dope for the anime specifically. I
Uh-huh.
never want to play with these things, but it's another tool that the writers can use. It fudges up the rules, obviously, but it lets them like not introduce cards that do that actually in the game, just like adding a bunch of wild effects to cards they're already introducing. And those kind of swerves kind of help keep the game going when otherwise they're written into a corner. Sometimes it can be used lazily. I think that they're pretty cool.
They're ass in Duel Links, but they're probably good to watch.
Oh yeah. Mechanically, get that out of here. Bury them.
Bury in.
No, wrong series.
Arc V is such a strange one, right? Because it kind of rewrites the canon of the entire series. Zexal obviously takes place in a different universe than the ones that come before it, but Arc V rewrites the canon of every single other one to match its own canon in a way, which is, I think, what makes it so controversial. At least part of what makes it controversial, other than the ending.
I think that is the case if you really ascribe to the idea that every Yu-Gi-Oh series takes place in the same continuity. At least as far as the dub is concerned. I'm not sure if the actual original version of 5Ds makes those hard connections.
It makes a couple, or at least the dub does. I don't remember if the.
Oh yeah, the dub definitely like mentions it. Like
I actually don't remember if those are carried through to the dub or to the sub. I mean, to the Japanese.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what it is originally. GX is built on continuity with the original.
For sure.
So that has to be in the same, or not has to, but it's plausible enough that they're in the same reality.
Yeah, you get that final duel with where Jaden goes back in time to fight Yugi at his prime.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But once you get to Zexal, I think you really have to understand that you are not serving the story by trying to make connections between these. We have gone so far away from ancient Egyptian spirits being the source of this magic power to now it's a interdimensional code that the universe is built on, which does imply that Zexal isn't a simulation, I feel. And that's a whole bag of gummy worms that I'm not ready to detangle at the moment. So we just have to understand that Arc V is just this weird crossover special.
Yeah, and a very weird one at that, because of the way that it changes some specific characters, especially from GX.
Yeah, actually, Alexa was complicit in causing multidimensional genocide.
And Aster.
Aster. Like, I don't.
It doesn't make any sense. I don't think.
So you have to understand that these are like the same archetype of character, but not the actual factual person.
It's a different universe.
It's a different universe, different continuity. Just go with it. And it sucks that they like did that, but didn't go hard enough. They only chose second stringers for the cameos.
Well, I believe, if I remember correctly, and I could be completely wrong on this, Arc V actually specifically the inciting incident of Arc V unwrites all the main characters from the universes, and that's how they end up that way.
Oh well, thank God.
So like without Yugi and Jaden, the fusion universe becomes an interdimensional fascist state. Oh, that's a theory? Okay, thank God.
I think we can sum up Arc V with the statement, wasted potential.
There's a lot of cool cars that come out of Arc V. One of my favorites, Speedroid.
Yeah. If only we can mix them with something. I don't know, maybe like a level 7 monster to help with their synchro stuff.
That would probably make the deck pretty good. It'd probably be meta relevant even.
It sounds really good. It's a shame that they'll never make something like that.
Sounds good. I should play that.
No, so like, but it goes deeper than just the character cameos, right? Because several of the characters introduced in Season 1 are using dual terminal archetypes. They are trying to make a connection with the card game that has existed in the past, not just the characters that have existed beforehand. So it wants to be this kind of homage to all the older series that came before it, but I don't feel like that ever becomes what this series is about. It's all window dressing.
What is the series about? Like, there's a like if we go back to like Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Is the power of friendship. GX is about making sure you're having fun while playing the game. 5Ds is about hope. Arc V what is Arc V about? Like as a solidifying theme.
Yeah, like we're not talking about the literal actual plot. What do we walk away with when it comes to that? There's a lot of instances where Yuya falls to anger. And that's how, like, these fragments of Zark take over and do, like, really heinous stuff.
Right. Yeah. It's about smiling.
Exactly. It's about figuring out what hurts you inside, and instead of going to a therapist, hiding it by performing to several people, pretending you're okay, and then trying to make money off of that.
It's about being a Yugi tuber.
It's not very relatable, to be honest. Not a lot of people are doing this. Okay, but dropping the bit, it is this idea of, like, Yuya places a lot of expectations on himself, and we find himself in a lot of scenarios folding under the pressure of that, right?
So it actually has kind of similar themes to Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, now that I think about it.
I can see that.
Because GX also has that arc where Jaden just puts so much of the pressures of the world on himself, and he loses the ability to have fun while dueling, and he has to get that back, and that's how he, like, saves the day at the end of it.
Okay. So yeah, I think that's what thematically the series is about.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, though, that theme gets very muddled by the fact that it's in the middle of a multi-dimensional invasion. I don't think we ever fully understand if the different fragments of Yuya are meant to be different parts of his personality, or from a thematic point of view. If it's that, if it's just a straight, this is what Yuya would be if he used synchro summoning kind of stuff. I don't think any of the villains really do anything to help act as a foil in all of this. Zark can be kind of read as, like, giving into your baser instincts of cynicism, and just playing to, assert dominance, but he only ever comes up at the end. Other than that, it's just Academia, who's just this big invading force, which of course we're going to hate them. They're evil. And then Zuzu and her multidimensional clones also kind of muddle this, because now we also have to see how that ties into Yuya's arc, but we never do, because Yu-Gi-Oh! Doesn't write women well, and half the time they're under the effects of the fusion parasite, so they don't do anything.
And the only thing I know about Yu is, you show Duel School is #1 in fun.
Oh boy.
Again, it's Duel Links. It's all Duel Links. That's all I know about these shows.
Duel Links has inadvertently been the biggest character assassination of all characters in the show, by dint of putting one or two catchphrases in people's heads, and that's it.
My guy I got a sister has a second effect.
Shut the fuck up. Yeah. So, once again, wasted potential. Lots of interesting themes, never get executed well. This is a C tier, I think.
Yeah, okay. I will say, though, Duel Links actually did make me appreciate Jesse Anderson more, because one of his taunts is, my monsters are yawning too, and that's just perfect. It's like the best taunt in the entire game.
Wow, you're boring as shit.
You're boring as shit. Hurry up.
Come on. Don't keep a country boy waiting.
If I can play Jesse Anderson for a deck, I do. That's my bias there.
No, I totally agree. Back when I think he was one of the duelists that had ties that bind.
Yep.
So it was very funny playing any not Crystal Beast deck. I'll go in, I'll like aestheticisms, sink for Shien, go for 4K. That's the power of my Crystal Beasts.
My monsters are yawning too. Oh man, so good. Speaking of so good, Vrains?
Vrains. Okay, now have you seen any Vrains?
No, I've not seen any Vrains. I know a thing or two about Vrains just from osmosis. Everyone loves to talk about Vrains, but nobody likes to watch it, from what I understand.
My personal experience is that I've seen a lot of Season 1, have seen nothing of Season 2, and I have read a lot about what happens in Season 3. There's a whole arc with like the two rogue Ignises that do bad things, but I I don't remember exactly what they do as the bad guys.
I remember I watched NBT watch the Vrain summoning scenes over and over again. And that was ridiculous. Why did they do that?
I haven't even seen that. I don't know what we're talking about.
He's just like on stream, just watched the Vrain summoning animations where Mr. Vrains, the playmaker,
Mr. Vrains, yeah.
Goes into the Vrains verse and then like goes, okay, so here's the Link 1 material and here's the second Link material, and then those two together make the Link 2 monster.
They do for all of them?
He does that for every single monster for like the first season.
Jesus Christ. You think that the people in charge were like, Link is actually too complex. We have to run people through it step by step every time. They did drop the summoning animation after 12 episodes. That is 9 too many.
Really,
if they do not understand by episode 3, that's the cutoff point.
And the thing is, like, it's not just like, oh, I'm Link summoning access code, immediately. No, you got to do a whole Link climb. Everyone's doing Link climbs because they're actually playing real decks, which is something I do appreciate about Vrains.
There's like 3 instances of Vrains where they actually explain esoteric things about the rules. Like, one time they explain missing the timing, right?
Yeah, it feels like they're actually playing Yu-Gi-Oh.
So that's actually really cool. I've always been a proponent that you need to make these tie-in shows tutorials for how to play the game, at least in the first few episodes. The jumping on point should also work as a way to get people introduced in the game. Then you can do all kinds of wacky stuff once you set up the status quo. And Vrains kind of does that.
Vrains had the first on-screen brick versus brick, and that's another thing. Vrains, I keep seeing people post clips of it, and it's like every time it's a banger. I don't see that for many other Yu-Gi-Oh shows.
Like, it's weird because Vrains styles itself as 5Ds. It wants to have the, apocalyptic cyberpunk future where there are very real themes of cybersecurity and corporate overview and poverty
and AI.
But it also is not. Hey, whoa! Now that's a dangerous topic. We start doing that, we're going to be going into visual novel territory. But it also is one of the best series when it comes to like taking the piss. It's not afraid to make fun of itself. I think more than any other ones. GX is, of course, famous for all of its gag moments. And
a lot of those were made in the dubbing process.
Oh, boy. And all of them have, they have comedy. It's part of it, that you want to have a little something to cut the tension with. But Vrains, more consistently than any other show I have felt, feels comfortable enough with the material to make some pretty solid jokes, like the bricking thing.
It's just perfect. It's perfect. Plus, we keep getting really cool archetypes out of it, like the Allure Queen deck, which is going to be releasing soon. I'm so stoked for that.
Yeah, also, tying off of that one, Vrains is the first series where, like, anime archetypes started getting to be really actually good. Like, you could pick a few things out of Performapals, sure, but, you played almost all the Goki cards when they first came out.
Yeah.
The Trick Stars were a powerful control strategy that would burn your opponent out for a game. These were some real decks that were being played here.
Like, Utopia is good now, but back then...
No. Firewall was a powerful boss monster.
God. And
almost too powerful.
They didn't ban it for so long.
I don't care if it's true or not. It had plot armor.
Yeah. I do like the fact that Firewall is basically absent after the banning.
Folks, we can't show this off anymore.
Sir not appearing in this picture. Vrains created Dragon Link. Very true. Very true.
Yeah, I mean, Varus, by himself, codified how dragons would work from that point on.
I love that Varus just plays busted-ass staples, too.
The fact that he's out here playing Magic Cylinder, mwah.
So where are we putting Vrains?
Okay, so I think that Vrains... I respect that Vrains ended by making the companion character the final boss. I think that shit slaps. They spend so much time making that make sense. He doesn't get possessed by some kind of outer force like what would happen with Astral every few episodes. uh, he was literally like, wow, humanity does not have the capacity to understand things beyond itself, and we are tearing ourselves up between the Ignises because we can't agree on all that stuff, and I lost all my friends because I sided with humans, and no one's doing anything to help fix this. I guess I'm just gonna have to kill all of you now because I need to survive. I'm sorry. Y'all are bad. It's like I feel like they did a good job of making it like a real character moment for them to do this. I think they like punk out of it at the very end by like making I survive all that, and they feel the one kind of being. But I'm going to ignore that part because that part takes away my entire argument. This is like, I want to go.
Ooh.
No. Wait, that was that being there. I want to put it like here. I definitely feel like it's better than Zexal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anything's hitting A. I'm going to be on. I don't know, but does it clear 5Ds? I don't know. So this is another one of those situations where there's a part of me that might turn around in a couple of days and find a reason why it's better than 5Ds. But for right now, I think that it has its flaws, but it has a really strong arc for some of its characters. It goes out on a bang. It knows what it wants to do. And I respect how it executed on that. So,
yeah,
high B.
There we go.
All right.
Next up, Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens. Have you seen this?
Dog, I don't know. I haven't seen a single Sevens. I played Psyche Battle.
Yeah, I was about to say I've played that
all
Psyche Battle.
So I only know season 1 abridged.
Yeah, season 1
in
abridged.
the literal meaning of the word.
But it's really fun.
I made a joke about how GX is like a return to form kind of deal. But no, Sevens really is that. Like it's kids having fun, playing games. We'll never get back to this because it's all about Yu-Gi-Oh! But it's just kind of it's a slice of life. They want to have fun with their game, and they don't want the adults telling them how to play their stuff. So they literally made a whole new version just to do that.
And they're fighting a corporation. It's cool.
You know, based.
And the Rush Duels is really fun. And I like that the protagonist loses constantly. But he wins through losing a lot of times.
It's almost like failure's the best teacher or some shit. Wow. But that's all I have about it. I don't know anything about the later seasons.
And you know what?
I don't know anything about any characters' plots.
I think I want to put it in A, honestly, because I just really enjoy it.
You like it that much more than 5Ds?
Oh, actually, I don't know if I do.
Yeah.
Now you say it like that.
Yeah.
Because it's still more kid-oriented is the problem. It's like it feels like it's hitting a younger audience.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Like it's not bad because of that.
It's just I'm 28 years old, you know.
Yeah, like it's not stories for us. Maybe it hits a whimsical part of our spirits sometimes, but none of the stuff is like really hitting home.
Sevens Lee would never punch a cop, but only because he would never punch anyone. He hates cops, I think.
I totally believe that if
Yugioh. I think. Yugioh?
No, Yugioh is one of the U-boys. That's the Synchro Dimension one, right? Yeah, because the joke is that his name is Yugioh, and they keep saying that he does fusion stuff, but that's not true. Yugioh, thank you. I totally believe that, give him a decade.
There's too many blank protagonists.
Yeah, can we stop that?
Can we stop with that, please?
Can we stop the whole thing that's tied all the characters together since the beginning? Can we do a JoJo, please? Can we just start naming our characters something else?
Yoga. I can put it in B, though. I think B is a reasonable spot for Sevens.
I think I'll go along with it. Like, because I don't feel like the video game has prepared me at all to talk about this. But I will follow your judgment. Now, where on B would you like this to land?
I think that's fine.
Okay. Which kind of rolls into Go Rush.
Never seen. I haven't seen a single frame of this. So
you know what? We just have to put it there. We just have to.
Yeah.
We have seen at least some fragment of all of these in some way. Okay, well, that's one.
That's one down.
This has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This had 9 options. We spent an hour talking about that. We are unhinged.
We are. To be fair, we're trying to like encapsulate an entire season of, or multiple seasons of television in every single one of these images.
That's true. These are very information dense options as opposed to what was the one we did last time that had like 80 of them?
Oh, what was that second one we did?
I can look it up right here. Hand traps. There we go.
Hand traps. Yeah. The hand trap one, that was nothing.
Yeah. Those that tier list was like potato chips.
Yeah. Once you pop, you can't stop.
No.
All right. Next.
Like with Ghost Ogre.
The Ghost Ogre.